This week I'd like to talk to you more about what I started talking to you about last week, which is the concept around flipping the lid and what's happening in the brain. I did a video on that last week, so you can refer back to that if you haven't seen it yet. But last week I was talking more about calming strategies for the adult. And this week I'd like to start talking to you about strategies for helping your child calm down and gain skills around helping themselves calm down when there's like this kind of emotional tsunami that takes over the brain and body. So the first thing that I want to share with you is that this book called The Whole Brain Child. It's by Dr. Daniel Siegel and Tina Payne Bryson. It has been very helpful in my working with young children and really just humans in general. It really explains the function of the brain and how to help the support of the development of the brain, not only, especially around emotional intelligence. So I highly recommend it. There's 12 strategies in this book, so I won't be doing videos on all of them, but I will be doing a few that I have found to be extremely helpful when working with children who are overwhelmed with emotion and flipping their lid. So today's strategy, which is the first one in the book, is called Connect Before You Redirect. And this is really about like right brain, left brain. I think most people are aware of the concept of like that the right brain controls more of like our creative side or emotional side, non-verbal. And our left brain is much more logistical, linear, just logical. And that's like the linguistic part for sure. So when we are flipping our lid, it is our our right side of our brain that is just like having like a little tsunami happen over there. And it really just does not have access to the left side of the brain. Like logic is out the window, as we spoke about last week with the upstairs, downstairs brain. So when wanting to help a child calm down and kind of start to lower that lid, we really need to connect with that emotional, the right side of the brain first, because they just don't have access to the left side. So there's a scenario that they offer in the book that is, this child has been super excited about going to a sleepover and been counting down the days, and then it's time to go and they become overwhelmed and, don't want to go and are like refusing to go. And so kind of like the typical parent response would be like, oh my gosh, you've been looking forward to this for so long. Like, you'll be fine. Come on, get in the car, let's go. And so this suggests that, that if the child's not feeling like they're being heard, that can really ramp up that emotional side. If they're feeling like their feelings are being dismissed, and it's not like they're logically thinking this is just kind of what's happening internally. So what we would want to do is get down at their level, and just like connect, like show some empathy, soften, and be like, oh, are you having second thoughts? What's going on? What are you worried about? Like kind of opening up this dialogue, so that the child feels supported. And then usually they can work through it. So if you can get there at the very beginning, you can often avoid the tantrum altogether. I found this to be true time and time again. But then, sometimes it's just unavoidable and they need to go through this whole emotional roller coaster before they can calm down. But again, it's going to be faster for them if you can connect. So ways that you can connect are getting down at their level, softening your facial expression, just showing empathy. It really doesn't matter what words you say, because they're not listening to that anyway. They're reading your emotion, not your language. So, you can be saying the nicest thing, possible, but if you're saying it in a stern voice and towering over them and, showing anger in your face, like that's the response that they're getting, and that's only going to keep their lid, flipped. So just really thinking about, okay, there is a time for that kind of logical, like, okay, well, you'll be fine, and, everything, you can call me, and these kinds of things, the logical solution time. But that's for the redirect. That's for the left brain. So we want to make sure that we have access to that before we even go there. So connect with the right brain, like connect emotionally, And then once people are calm, then you can go to the left brain of like a plan and a solution and what might work better next time. Like if your child is having a tantrum because they wanted, you know, an egg instead of a pancake or whatever, and then they flipped their lid, it doesn't do any good to be like, well, you told me you wanted a pancake, and you know, because they can't even hear that. So, oh, I'm sorry you're disappointed. I can see that you're really upset. Help them kind of calm down. Then later, once they're calm, you can be like, you know, when you asked me for a pancake and I made that for you, that's what you're going to get for today. So I'm sorry that was disappointing to you, but you know, next time you can just ask for the egg or whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying, I hope. But I just wanted to share that strategy because it really is effective. So if you can kind of be thinking about that in the days ahead, if someone's kind of flipping their lid, remember to connect before you redirect. And that will really help calm that brain down and bring the lid back down so that they can have access to the logical side of their brain. Okay, so that's it for today. See you next week.